she was working. That was her normal routine, was just work and home and stores she needed to stop. On June 28th, 2018, Marilyn's brother, Harry, contacts 911 at 6:56 a.m. He tells them that he has not seen or spoken to his sister, and it was unlike her, and that the day previously, he had left her a note, and the note was still in the door. So at that point, he got very concerned and contacted the police. The police do a walkthrough of the home once backup arrives. Before they went into the home, they walked around the premises outside, and they were not able to see anything through the windows. But what got their attention was the back sliding door to the house was actually open, and her dogs were still home, and they were pretty protective. So at this point, I am pretty sure everybody's alarms were going up at least just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Once they get into the home, they are then able to clear the residence. There is no sign of Marilyn, and there is also no sign of foul play. One thing that law enforcement did notice while they were there is her keys were located on the doorknob, and these keys had not only the car key, but the house key as well. So they found that kind of odd. Law enforcement then goes back outside, and they are greeted by the neighbor. Her name is Nancy, and she is a friend of Marilyn's. And she says that she is very concerned. However, there was one place that they could check for her. Nancy told them that Marilyn had a rental property down the road from her home. The tenants of that home had moved recently, so maybe there was a chance they could find her there. Once they arrived to the rental property, that is when they notice a truck is backed into the garage halfway. So assuming that somebody is there, law enforcement goes and knocks on the door. The woman that answers the door IDs herself as Alyssa Pickett. And when they ask Alyssa what she is doing at that residence, she claims that she is just moving out. Alyssa is the mother of Marilyn, and she had texted her that she was going to be coming to the house to get the rest of her belongings. They were able to see the text on her phone. However, Marilyn never responded, but she said that was kind of typical of her to do. So, about 50, about 50 miles outside of Albuquerque, there was a 911 call made that a body had been found on a mattress and it was sat on fire. So when the officers arrived, through dental records and all that good stuff, they were able to determine the body to be Marilyn's. And for the record, I am the worst note taker I have ever seen in my life. In the title, I will tell you what her last name is, but I literally never wrote it down. Like that's like the biggest part of the whole story is who they are. Like my brain's disqualified to be an adult. That is for sure. When police make the death notification to her brother Harry, that is when they are informed that Alyssa was not just moving out, she was evicted out of the home. So that obviously was something that investigators didn't really see coming because Alyssa never mentioned that. She just said she was moving. That is when law enforcement goes back she saw Marilyn was a couple days prior when Marilyn was telling them how they needed to move and like the right and wrong ways of how they were moving. I don't know. But Annie said that she did not like the way she was being questioned and she was actually quite mad about it. Now, law enforcement then asks Alyssa, when did you get these keys from Marilyn? She says 10 a.m. on Saturday. They knew she was lying at that point because Marilyn's body was found that morning before 10 o'clock. So, at that point, all three of them, Alyssa, Annie, and Drake, all got arrested and sent down to the police station for questioning. When they are questioning Drake, Drake informs them that his grandmother had a death wish, and she asked him multiple times before to kill her because she was getting too old. He says he